Yo! Okay, hold on. There we go. Gotta find a way to fade this out. I do a terrible job at that every time. So, all right, let's get this thing rolling, huh? Um, you might notice it's different here. This is not my place. I'm actually at my mom's right now. I'm just doing, I've been doing mainly birthday stuff and all that. So, yeah. Rams House gonna hop on soon. That's awesome. Uh, Anybody else want to hop on too? I will share that link. Where's that puppy at? There we go. Boom. Hey, actually on the real aim day. I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's just like, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal at all. So, what do we want to talk about tonight? I had one topic. What was it? I should have. Well, I was gonna say I should have wrote this down. I did write it down. It's just on my computer at home, which I am not there right now. So that's good stuff. Do Compton Mania in here. I was wearing my Compton Mania shirt yesterday. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. I get a compliment every single time I wear that, by the way. 100% of the time. Any truth to, ooh, this is a great start. Great start. All right, so let's just go ahead and call it this way. I see a guest in the wings here. We'll get right to him, but first I want to address this. Any truth to the Matthew Stafford trade rumors and speculation? This is actually kind of an interesting one because no. So basically, Michael Lombardi came on to the Pat McAfee show and he said that the Rams tried to trade Stafford, and then so Pat McAfee stops him and he's like, "Whoa, hold on, like." Hey, like, are you breaking news here? And he's like, well, no. He's like, I just feel like they probably would have based on their his contract, his injury history, stuff like that. And he's like, oh, so it's not real, basically. And he's like, oh no, it's just like it makes sense that they would have. And so, like Pat McAfee's comments, he's like, you're saying that like any GM worth his salt would have tried to trade Matthew Stafford. He's like, yes. So no, there's not. But we're in a weird media cycle right now where a person can say something and it just gets twisted completely. Like dude Jason McIntyre, he had the comment of like a bold prediction list, literally a bold prediction list that had, if the Rams start slow, they would trade Aaron Donald. And then that blew up into trade rumors for Aaron Donald. He's going to the Browns. And it's like, well, you're misunderstanding all of this. Like, that's not even accurate at all. So it's annoying, but and I kind of had not like a conversation, but I had like a couple back and forths with this Browns channel. And basically he kind of said, he was like, it's kind of up to us as the media people to be able to sift through that stuff and then pass that along to our audience. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, is just with my audience, I'm trying to let you know through the lens of Sheriff Joe Bags that that not all this stuff is true, and we don't need to buy all of it. So with all that being said, we will continue down the list here, but I've got a homie sitting here waiting to come on the show, and I gotta say, this is one of the coolest human beings that I know. I will say one thing: I've got to stop making him stuff that's cooler than stuff that I make for myself. That absolutely has to come to an end. I just put in so much like mental effort into whenever I create something for him, and I got to get a little selfish and start doing that for me. You know what I mean? But in fairness, he did give me all the stuff that he wanted in it, in the things that I make for him, and then it kind of goes that way. My brain, I don't tell myself all the stuff that I want in something. I just kind of start making stuff. So with all that being said, dude, what the heck is up, Paul Boy Green?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Joe. I've since you've relaunched, Ram Showcase and doing this live show, I keep going like, oh, great! I'm gonna put it in my itinerary. I'm gonna be like, let me, okay, I'm gonna appointment viewing. I'm gonna be there, and then like I'm there. I'm like, oh man, let me hop in let me send in a couple of comments. I'm definitely gonna jump on live. And they invited me, and I get a, hey, dinner's ready. I'm like, son of all right, you bastard. Next week for sure. So then this time I just do a drive-by. I'm like, oh shit, he's live right now. Let's go.
Hell
so
yeah,
I had to dive right in.
Dude,
I had to do a quick drive-by, man.
It's been so long since we've been on any kind of stream together.
That's true.
That
yeah,
I don't know what to do, like with my hands. What do you want to talk about, Paul? I know
Yeah.
you're not Rams guy, but dude, I know the Jets. I want to keep this Rams specific, obviously, but obviously the Jets
Yeah.
are in quite a situation right now with not only bringing in a new quarterback, but also potentially a new running back. You got any deets on that, by the way?
I can't share some of those. I will tell you though, keeping it Rams though, it's
Yeah.
interesting. So the Jets are like, f this. We're going to get a new quarterback this offseason. Like that's not a question. But who is it going to be? The Jets, through all this reporting, they like the coaching staff and stuff put a list together of all the quarterbacks they would go after, from like the most impossible to the most realistic. And there's 19 guys on their list apparently, and one of the names was Matthew Stafford, and that was back in, let me see if I get this right, January, February range. So not to say, again, to the thing that you just said
Yeah.
about the trade stuff and Michael Lombardi, I just got to say massive respect to Pat McAfee, because it'd be very easy for him to sit back and allow people to interpret how they want.
Yes.
And then all he does is go be-doo, boop, bop, and tweet out the clip and people go crazy. But he
Yep.
calls out the shit immediately and just immediately says, so wait, you're trying to break news here? Because he does that with other people. It's not just Lombardi. Yeah. And then it forces them to go, oh shit, he just like put me on blast here. I got to address this as hell yeah, I'm breaking news or not. And it's like, oh, so you're just okay, cool. Go ahead, proceed. I just love that about Pat McAfee.
I love that too. And the only other person that I know that does that, based on watching their interviews, is Dan Patrick, because he'll stop and ask people, and he's like, "Do you understand what you're saying right now?" Like, there's been situations where he's had to.
The Adam Schefter one, remember that? Where the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The big thing was Aaron Rodgers. So Adam Schefter, for those who don't remember, I know this is a Rams show, so I'm not going to bombard it for long, but Adam Schefter apparently had been collecting Aaron Rodgers notes for months. And then on draft day, he decides to just dump them all. And then shit goes crazy with potentially with Aaron Rodgers. And they're like, oh, snap, a new development hit just this morning. That's the only way that this happened. But as Dan Patrick did in that interview, he's like, wait a second. So did you break news? He's like, well, no, I had been collecting data for a while and I was kind of doing a data refresh. And he's like, and he immediately started questioning like the journalistic integrity of that, and knowing the bomb that he dropped and knowing how it would be perceived by him doing it on that day and everything, and what it sent to ESPN and everything. So 100%, that Dan Patrick's a great call. And also, isn't he the guy that like ran your school that you went to?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like his namesake is on the sportscasting degree stuff at the college.
That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I never got to like meet him or anything because it was like an online student, so I actually don't know if any of them are real. Who knows? Maybe it's all just a facade, right? So that kind of like goes back to something that happened last week. Is like I kind of like ran thin on topics and was like, I'm just gonna Google LA Rams real quick, and the very first thing that popped up was, are the LA Rams real? Or like, do the Rams exist? And so like my brain immediately went into overdrive and was like, could you imagine? Like I've been covering this team for like 10 years and people just
never existed.
Do it. Like people are just like, oh, Joe's talking about his Rams team that he made up in his head to get like, and it's like I almost had to like reality check.
An Inception, like whoa, what's going on here? Whoa.
Exactly. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Rams game, and they're like, Joe, the Rams have never existed. The Rams,
you're like in an empty stadium. Woo!
Yeah,
go Rams! And like the guy who's claiming, who the hell is that? Why is he here?
Oh, exactly. It's so funny.
So it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I guess my only question to keep it Rams related here. You answered my one a couple weeks ago about whether or not they're going to stink or not, because again, from the outside, I'm not paying attention to all the Rams news notes and everything that's coming in, but from the outside looking in, like the Rams are going to be terrible. So you addressed that about the expectations you guys have for the season. But I guess, and I know you're not the massive fantasy guy, but is Stafford back? Because like last year was a bag of broken glass. I'm like, oh boy, this dude's done and he's broken. And like, the good news is that he's accomplished everything he's wanted as a former #1 overall pick, won the Super Bowl and all this. Like he doesn't have to come back to the Rams. Why? He's accomplished everything. So is he still good? And number two, what's the motivation now? He's accomplished everything at this point. So what is there to chase basically?
The motivation is a very good question. I think part of that would tie into the fact that last year was so rough that like you don't win a Super Bowl and come in have a bit of a year where like the offense isn't producing, like you get hurt, you're like all your weapons are getting hurt and stuff like that, and then just like win 5 games after winning a Super Bowl, you have the worst follow up post Super Bowl win. And then like I feel like that would be part of the motivation, is like you can't just like be like, oh, we got to the top and then have like a few just like 2 or 3 dud years. Like I feel like that would be motivation. As far as like, is he back? Is he good? We have to consider that last year was such a like an anomaly of a year. What are you doing? This is my mom's house. It's chaos over here. But so it's like it was such an anomaly of a year. Like even in the preseason, we lose Logan Bruss, the top draft pick on the offensive line, who was fighting for a starting job, and then like Joe Noteboom at left tackle and David Edwards at left guard, not playing well, and then they both get hurt, and it's like crazy stuff too. With like David Edwards is like he's like what we thought was like a healthy scratch because he's like dizzy in practice, and so they're like, well, hold on, like let's do a concussion protocol, like let's go through this whole process. And then it's just a carousel on the offensive line entirely. We never had our top targets together because as the season began, Van Jefferson was out. By the time Van Jefferson came back, Kupp was down. And then also like, Robinson never really hit. Like I was like going from OBJ to Allen Robinson was like such a downgrade that like I thought it was going to be good, but like it wasn't. And then you have the drama in the running back room. You have Cam Akers being a healthy scratch, and the Rams are going to trade him or cut him. And then all of a sudden they waive Darrell Henderson, and now Cam Akers is back, and he ends the season really strong. And it's like last year was basically, you cannot look at last year and make any opinions on this year. You just can't, especially when it comes to the offensive side of the football. We can say defensive too. We'll get to that, but like on the offensive side of the football, last year was such an anomaly that it's not fair to judge anything that happened last year and look at it as a reasonable like point of reference for this season. When you have like guys that you're signing in the middle of the season, starting at like left tackle Ty Nsekhe, who did a good job in fairness, but it's like it wasn't here in camp or anything. And then like Matt Skura, and then we start 4 different quarterbacks. We have our top 4 wide receivers together at once. Like it's just an absolute disaster. So I would say that, yeah, everything like this year specifically, we should be okay. Like on the offensive side, there's no reason to say that we wouldn't be. And then you also got Sean McVay, who's just 100% abandoning all of his offensive like strategies and setups and all that stuff just because he's got no players. We're bringing guys in who just they're not getting the reps. They weren't getting the reps in practice and stuff like that because they were like a low level on the depth chart, and all of a sudden they're starting now. And we just had a couple of misses too with like we haven't seen Tutu Atwell be a hit yet. We haven't seen like stuff like that where it's just like it was one of those where it seemed just to fall apart like so fast. And then if we want to switch to the defense real quick, is just the fact that with you lose Jalen Ramsey, you lose Bobby Wagner. Those are 2 massive hits. So that absolutely has to be considered. But then you also bring back a coach in Aubrey Pleasant, who I'm still a massive fan of and who I have mad respect for, who's now getting a young group to kind of coach up. And I think that that's pretty exciting. And then just the continuity in the coaching staff on defense, I think helps quite a bit. And as long as you have Aaron Donald, your defense isn't going to be, awful. Like it's going to be they're going to have some at least sick plays, even if none of the 38 rookies on this roster, if none of them hit, you still have a guy like Aaron Donald who's, going to still do some damage.
All right, last one here, and then I'll get out of your hair because you guys got a great freaking show going on over here. I'm just throwing a lot of shish kebab action happening here. Again, if you with all these rookies, you have the 38 rookies, which is an ungodly amount, right? So like there's all kinds of volatility with that. Why not if you're the Rams? The worst place you could be is purgatory, and that's like hanging around in the middle. Like if you just missed the playoffs at, I'm making this up, 8 and 9 or something, then you're picking in the middle of the round and everything else that pertains to. Like the best place to be is obviously competing for a championship or just not sucking and unfortunately having not a great year for the fans, but it better for the long-term future of the franchise. If that's the case, and right now they're kind of hanging in the middle, if they're not this guaranteed Super Bowl contender, why not ship off the people that matter, like Jalen Ramsey? I know they didn't get matched, which still surprised me, the return investment. Why not trade Aaron Donald? Why not trade Matthew Stafford? Why not trade everything and just like even the copper pipes under your sink? Why aren't you like selling everything off possible if you can't win the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like in terms of the extremes? Why not?
I get it, but I also I would argue that the core has been kept. So like obviously that the pillars there, the main pillars there are going to be Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald. Those are your main guys. And I would personally put Ernest Jones into that conversation. I know not everybody is, but I think he's one of those guys that like this year I think is going to be the year that everybody kind of sees how monstrous Ernest Jones is as a player, because I think he's kind of been overshadowed most of his career. And then like being next to Bobby Wagner, obviously he's getting all the attention and stuff like that. But either way, so you look at the situation the Rams are in right now, all these rookies, a billion rookies, just like a team loaded of guys who've never played in this league before.
Yeah.
We have so much cap space next year. We have a first round pick again for the first time in as long as I can remember, since I was a child, basically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Our most recent first round pick is Jared Goff, who
that's so crazy.
Has been on another team for a while. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of crazy to think about. But like you get a first round pick, you got cap space. If the way that I kind of lay it out in my brain is with this many rookies, if you can get 30% of them to be hits, you have one of the best draft classes of all time. You know what I mean?
I never thought about it that way. That's true. Yeah.
If you just, it's just a scatter shot at this point, man. It's just like it's just firing a shotgun over at a bullseye. It's like, yeah, it probably hit a few, you know, it's going to be okay. So if we can get 10 guys out of these 36 that are worth a damn at all, it's going to be pretty good. And you got guys that have massive amounts of potential. Byron Young, Puka Nacua, Trey Tomlinson. Like these guys are players who should translate to the NFL and be able to be good. Steve Avila, like these are guys that should be able to translate into the NFL and be really good players. And then you also got to figure that there's probably going to be a few random gems in there as well. Probably like an undrafted guy that just all of a sudden hits in preseason or something and is incredible. Like,
sure,
you got to kind of account for that as well. So if you take that into consideration, this is very much a development year. Get these rookies reps, get them in there, let them feel the NFL. Next year, you can replace whoever you want to replace as far as the like your veterans go, because now we have cap space. We got a first round pick again. Let's get that thing the hell out of here, because first round picks are for suckers. And then you also got you hit it again. Basically, what I'm thinking here is the Rams are in a position to do what they did that got them a ring just now, but start that process.
Sure. Okay.
And if you ask any fan base, I will ask the Jets fan here. It's very perfect that you are a Jets fan. That if you were going to have, let's say, 8 years of being under 500, maybe winning 5 games, but 2 of those years, one of them you win a Super Bowl, the other one you go to a Super Bowl. Are you taking that deal if I offer that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Everybody is, because you're lucky to win a Super Bowl once a decade.
Right. Yeah, that's no guarantee. Right.
So if that is the way that this unfolds with the Rams, where they are able to kind of just have 1 year that's a complete dud and kind of realize that, and you get some dollars off the books with Wagner and Ramsey and all this stuff, and then you hit it again with still having Donald and stuff like that, it's like, if the Rams could get back and do a development year and then hit it again next year, if the Rams could pull that off and have like 2 dud years between Super Bowl wins, none of us are going to be complaining about it, man. No one's going to be sitting here like, yeah, but the 5 wins. It's like, yeah, it doesn't count anymore. We don't care about that anymore, man. Like,
yeah,
the 5 wins doesn't go in the trophy case. The rings do. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one we care about.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, anywho, Ram Showcase Live, ramshowcase.com. Sheriff gosh darn Joe Bags, baby. Finally, I was able to check this off the bucket list of being on Ram Showcase Live. Wow.
Dude, I appreciate you coming,
yeah, it's been... And what is it? NFL Battle Zone? Is that the last video show we were doing? And that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut, man.
That's true. Well, I'm paying attention to the website, the shows, and everything, man. This is awesome.
And what about you, man? What if any of these Rams fans want to follow you, man? What do I tell them?
Oh, yes, of course, because obviously you guys all do. You guys want to see who's going to be winning the Super Bowl this year. So real quick, obviously, at BoyGreen25 everywhere, and you guys can watch how a team wins a Super Bowl. You guys may have forgotten it because it hasn't happened in like 3 years, whatever it is. So let's refresh your memory with the gosh darn New York Jets, baby. That's what we're doing. So give them a little.
You guys really do feel like you are taking that page from the Rams book a little bit, in a better way than the Bills have tried. The Bills, I think, are gone, man. I think they missed their window.
I think so too.
I'll
Yeah.
say that real fast. And like they signed a bunch of
Excellent.
former Rams this offseason and stuff like that. But like it feels
Suckers.
like because I was just explaining this, but it's like if you look at their like how their season ended the last 3 or whatever like that, they get a little bit worse every year.
Yeah, that's true.
But their roster going into every year, we look at it a little bit better every year, but then they're doing worse every year. So you got like Vaughn coming off of another torn ACL. Like it's just I don't know. There's something about that team, man. And then what my point was getting to there was that like also that division right now with the Jets the way that they're looking right now. The Dolphins are obviously a good team. You never really know about the Patriots. They're in pretty much every game. You know what I mean? Like at least they're competitive in most of the point, whether they're losing or not. But they're there. You know what I mean? And with Bill, you never know what kind of defensive game plan he'll cook up for you or something like that. So I think the Bills are kind of done, man. And Jets, man, it's I'm pumped for you, dude. Like I'm pumped for the
been
Rams.
too damn
Like
long.
we get to go into a season where like game in and game out, we have no idea how it's gonna go. Like we like week 1 against Seattle, we have zero clue how that's gonna go, and that's exciting to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm pumped for you because you get to have those emotions that I felt in like the 2018 and the 2021 years.
Although it's kind of
We should
boring
be winning.
because we know how they're all going to go. The Jets are going to win them all, so it's kind of boring. But we're just going to go through the season, see what happens.
Boy Green, everyone.
Hey, everybody! Thanks. See you later. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, and God bless. Enjoy the rest of the show, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for stopping. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Later. All right, so that was Paul. Paul's gone now. Not like forever, just right now. But so yeah, Boy Green at Boy Green 25. He didn't have that for a minute because it got like stolen or something like that. But all right, we have another guest now. And this is kind of what I love. If I can avoid the comments entirely, I would absolutely love to do that. I would rather just have conversations, which you are absolutely welcome to join. I'll drop it even again, the join link. Anybody's welcome to join. We'll just have a conversation here. But I got to bring in again, I know I just said this for Paul, and I don't want to cheapen these words or anything like that. But this is genuinely one of the best human beings I've ever known, man.
Hey.
What the heck is up, man? Where are you at right now?
Man, I'm at the crib. I'm at the crib.
Nice. So out in
Cerritos. We in Cerritos.
Oh, okay.
Cerritos.
Dude.
Man, Joe Bags in the building, man. Ram Showcase. First of all, y'all, Ram Showcase, what, for years, man? I used to just listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, my boy, we finally saw each other in person, too, at a game.
Yep.
Super dope. Proud of your evolution and everything that you're doing, man. You just killing it.
I saw you commented on the hair, too.
Hey, here don't care. No, but I'm really excited about the Rams this year, bro. Like, I really feel like McVay, from his standpoint, I think it's an opportunity for him to prove that he's like really like a great coach. Like, I think when he first came in and he took the team from where Jeff Fisher had it, basically the same damn team. You know, a couple of moving pieces. Next thing you know, boom, we in the playoffs, first round. What's up with it, Chris? What's the deal? So a couple of change of situations, boom, we in the playoffs, we lose. Next year, he strengthened the team. I like the way how the Rams is constructed. I watch a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. The way how him and Les Snead are connected like that, that's really important. I know you remember during the Jeff Fisher days when Fisher and Snead going back and forth, they both taking shots at each other. But the way how the Rams organization is constructed is kind of constructed like an algorithm type of thing. They got it's like a whole cohesive unit. So I think the way how they building the team, everybody you go into the draft picks, but it's like you can only play from what's in front of you. You can wish that you're in other places, but wherever the places that they land, they kill. Last year was a terrible season because we had so many freaking injuries. It was it was like being shot in the ass. Like Forrest Gump said, something jumped up and bit me. You know what I mean? But they still won 5 games in impressive ways with a bad offensive line. Like McVay had to go through something personal. I know. Listen, if you guys, when you watching the game, when we watching it as fans, it's like, yeah. But these individuals is going through personal battles, right? So he fell out in love with the game. Like he was feeling the worst part. You're losing, you suck, you in LA, it's your fault, pretty boy genius, you're getting your ass smacked by the Niners. This is the but you can see now like he's getting that love back for it. It's like, okay, well, listen, let's go back to zero expectations. Because once you win a championship, your mindset automatically be like, I'm a champion. No, it's a whole start all over from the beginning again. That don't matter because they come in with uppercuts. You know what I'm saying? So I think for the Rams, this is going to be our redemption year. Mark my words, 11-6. Who wants the smoke? I like the wide receivers that we developing right now. I feel like it's wide open there. All we have to do is strengthen the offensive line. I want the smoke. I want the Eagles. I want Patrick Mahomes. Give us a team that we got now, young. You plug in some young guns. They're going to make some mistakes. It's all good. It's all about mistakes and how you learn. One thing I do love is my man number 14. I believe in him. My man got the juice. I know he young, but look, when John Johnson first came here, people was questioning him, but JJ was a solid force for us. So it's like some young people gonna hit, some of them ain't. But look, y'all keep doubting Matthew Stafford if you want to. I'm telling you right now.
That's how I feel about it. It's like you're talking about a guy who's been proven to be one of the toughest players in the NFL. Players in the NFL, not just quarterback, like players in the NFL. His whole path and everything like that. He's always just been getting absolutely wrecked. He wills his team, man. Like you see those situations where it's like if without Stafford, like that's not a Super Bowl ring. You know what I mean? Like I love Goff. I have nothing negative to say about Goff, but we needed Matthew Stafford's mindset. I think that just him being like, no, we're doing this. Like, because Goff was very much like in the flow with things. Like you could tell with Goff in his first 3 throws if he was gonna have a good or bad day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not with Stafford. Stafford could come in and throw 3 bad balls. You see him on the sideline doing something, and then he comes in that next drive, we're scoring a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like it's just totally different vibe. It's all mental.
Yeah, and you could see games where Jared Goff was just shook, bro.
Yeah.
And I've had that look in my eyes before. Ain't nothing to look. Sometimes it's gonna look. Yeah. Look, it's gonna happen, bro. I seen that look in his eyes a lot. But with Matthew, even when we getting the smack dogged out of us, it's just like I'm not worried about nothing. If we lose, we lose. Yeah. But I mean, think about it. Matthew Stafford is going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like, listen, okay, he probably ain't Tom Brady, but yo, this is Matthew Stafford, dog.
It always surprises me when people ask that
name. What are we talking about here? In Detroit, when they were trash, Matthew Stafford was the hottest thing smoking. You can't just be on no NFL team for that many years. But listen, what?
How many people get cycled out within 2-3 years? Like, no, he was there forever, man. Like
this man, look, it's not just the games that we go to because season ticket holder, baby. Listen, this is smoke we talking. Training camps. When first of all, I saw Keenum, right? I'm like, I see somebody throw the football. Like, I'm from the hood. I see a lot of athletic people, bro. I'm like, Keenum, okay, Golf. I was like, dang, he could really throw it, but
great arm.
But at the same token, you like, I don't know. Every time he throw the ball, you nervous. Matthew Stafford, I swear to God, bro. When I'm seeing him throw no looks, and not just no looks for like 5 yards, talking 15, 25-yard no lookers.
Yeah. And that won the cup in the Super Bowl, dude. That's next level. That was like
Super Cup, bro. You talking to okay, listen. When you go to Rams training camp, right? I was there. My man Chris know better than me. You understand me? Listen, we seen Tavon Austin. You feel me? We had Kenny Brent. We seen all them. We seen Sammy come through. We seen them, right? Think about this. Cooper Kupp. Bro, when I'm telling you running routes in training camp, bro, we seen Robert Woods. Robert was cold.
Dude,
man. man, y'all
ability to
better.
run routes, man.
Yeah.
It is not. It's not matched in the NFL, and we can have conversations with all these other fan bases all we want to about who's the best wide receiver in the league. But I would say that everybody's best at something. Like some people are like, there's like a guy who's the best jump ball. Like like there's route runner though is Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
Best hands doesn't go to Kupp. You know what I mean? Like it maybe does, but like he's also got drops and stuff like that. But I would say best route runner, you cannot argue with me. It's Cooper Kupp.
What's the dude from the Vikings? JJ
Jefferson, man, that guy's unbelievable.
That dude is right there though.
But see, I would say I would say Jefferson probably has better hands, and maybe that's kind of developing over a year with Kupp too.
So Kupp don't really be dropping too much though.
He doesn't, but he does. Like I would say early on in his career, but
underrated. He do everything really good.
You got to consider that also he gets better every single year. So sometimes people have it in their mind like they saw Cooper Kupp in 2019 and they have this vision of that's Cooper Kupp. But that Kupp doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like he gets better every year.
He's got a quarterback that he got chemistry with that makes a major difference too, because you think about all the great wide receivers, most of the things that they had in common was a chemistry with the quarterback. If you got that puts you above.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Matthew Stafford with Megatron.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Sheriff. Talk to me right now, man. Like, are you sold on EJ? I love EJ, but now he's stepping into big shoes right now. You know what I mean? I believe he could do it, but. And like my man, I believe he's gonna have a good season, but that's some heavy shoes though, because that our linebacking, I got super faith in our young DBs. They're gonna lose some, they're gonna win some. I feel like Aaron Donald and whoever else you got down there, I put my money on that. So it's them linebacker situations. Like,
dude, I have so much confidence in Ernest Jones this year. It's like in my mind, and like how I feel about Ernest Jones going into this year is like it feels like we've got that seasoned vet who's just been unbelievable. It's kind of like going into a season with Bobby Wagner, in my opinion. Like maybe not to that level quite yet, but I think he's got everything to be one of the best linebackers in the league.
Okay, so let me phrase it like this.
Okay.
I don't disagree. Do you think that's enough? Because last year we had Bobby Wagner, and that middle of the field, they were tearing our ass up. Like, as far as like, besides Bobby Wagner, who else do we got? Like, educate me on that. Like, who do we have in that linebacking core that could back him up?
Well, I mean, if you want to look at like some of the depth of guys that have been here for a while, I mean, you can look at a Hummel, you can look at a Roseboom. I think what's going to happen here is, especially on the defensive side, linebacker, secondary, for sure, is we're going to see a lot of guys in preseason and like throughout training camp and stuff like that, that like we're going to see some guys hit that we're not expecting to hit. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know right now who's even going to be our two starting edge rushers. You know what I mean? But
that's another one.
That battle though in preseason, like, and I think that's almost better for us right now that we don't know who that's going to be, because we're in the meeting room saying, hey, this job next to Ernest Jones is open. Who wants it? Let's go earn it. You know what I mean? Like, and so that excites me, because that means the guy who gets that starting job in week one, the person who's next to Ernest Jones in week one, earned it. It wasn't just given to him because he was awesome last year. It's you won that throughout camp and preseason this year. And that's what excites me about it. And that's why I'm excited to see who that position, like who fills that role, because it's somebody who's hungry.
Now, also, I feel like Tutu Atwell should get more burn. Tutu showed me that he with the smoke. Tutu is pretty special.
Based on what?
You didn't see no game. You didn't see the chemistry.
I watch it all, man. I watch it all, but more than I'm gonna need to see more than two good plays, man.
Man, look, hey, listen, okay, but that's not just on him. They look,
but it is.
In the beginning, they wouldn't play him. I'm like, let's see him cook. When he came in,
hold on. If the coaching staff is not itching to get a guy on the field, there's a reason for that. They're seeing him in meetings. They're seeing him on the practice field every day. If
I
we as
understand
fans,
though.
we as fans have no reason to be begging for somebody if the coaches aren't even trying to put them in.
I agree, but at the
Yeah.
same token, like, bro, he got a different set of wheels. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, just throw him out
Yeah,
there.
but you can't. If just speed is not enough.
Right, I
Speed is
get it.
not enough.
I
A
get
lot
it.
of people are fast, but if you can't run routes, if you can't create separation, if you can't stay on the field because you're so tiny, you're getting hurt all the time, then what the hell is speed worth?
Have you seen his bounce though? Have you seen how he made like some
Well, I have
amazing
not seen anything from Tutu that one play. I have not seen one play from Tutu that makes me
maybe
feel, oh
because
man,
I
he's
went to
not.
the Denver,
not
maybe because I was at the Denver Broncos game then. Because Tutu was tearing their ass up. Yo,
Yeah,
Tutu
okay,
was a
first of all, that game doesn't count, man. That game doesn't count. The Broncos gave up in the second quarter, man.
Man, Tutu got man. It was another. I can't think, but it was another game I went to where Tutu made like 2 bomb plays and they took him out. Now maybe he's not the best blocker. I haven't paid attention to the film like that, but just knowing like when he's on the floor, if I'm a defender, if I got Cup right here, I got Van right here. If I throw Tutu anywhere, you got to spread the floor. The key thing is with the Rams, that blitz right up the middle is right where they freaking like a freaking tear our stuff up. You get that. That's why you bring back that jet sweep too. Now you able to spread the whole football field. Now you sitting over here telling me one-on-one Cooper Cup. I got Cup. I got Matthew Stafford as my quarterback. Give me any running back you want. I can spread the field. I'm getting 5 yards every single time. Who gonna stop me? All we got to do is get that line. If you telling me that's how I'm
not
bet.
Tutu. Tutu's not a part of this equation because we got Cooper Kupp, Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, Ben Skoranek, Lance McCutcheon, who are all better than him.
Ben Skoranek, listen, I love Ben.
He's
but
better than Tutu.
No. But listen, look, I liked him being in the fullback. Listen, Ben ain't doing nothing like that, man. I mean, Ben is cool.
He's way better than Tutu.
But as a wide receiver,
yeah,
like
he's better than Tutu.
I don't know, man. He's
got better routes and better hands than Tutu. Tutu's done nothing, dude.
Man, okay, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna
Tutu's
look.
done nothing. That's the thing. That's the thing. And don't mistake this as comments of like I don't want him to succeed. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If I want him to pop, I want to be wrong. I want to have a video or something where I put out and say I was so wrong about Tutu, man. This guy's unbelievable. I don't think it happens though.
Well, that's what's up. I'm also excited about training camp to see all of the young.
Hey, by the way, I don't know what this would look like for anybody who's here or anything like that, but Rams and Broncos do have a joint practice that's happening in Denver leading up to that preseason game. I'll be there. For sure.
Yeah.
I'll be at all the events. So I'll be at the game. I'll be at the practices and all that stuff. So if anybody's coming out, man.
Joe, can you go live while you there?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, man. Let's see that. Show us. Give us an exclusive, baby.
I'm guessing there's not going to be a lot of Rams fans there, right?
And then on top of that, too, it'll be so hard because you get to see what Tutu out there doing. You feel me? You get a front row seat to see Tutu.
That's not exciting to me, man. He's our best wide receiver. You're like, come on now.
Tutu, MVP wide receiver of the league. That's cap, y'all. Stop it.
That's so cap. He's not, man. I don't know. And again, I don't wish him ill. I don't like. I would love if he popped and is incredible. I just have seen nothing outside of a couple of straight just goes. But that we know he's fast. So like that play, that like him scoring that touchdown against the Saints, it was like, well, yeah, he's going to do that sometimes. He's fast as hell. Jamarcus Russell scored touchdowns too. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't tell me.
Yeah, but my man my man Chris said Lance finna be better than both of those guys.
You know what? Probably. Absolutely. Well, okay. I will say, if I had to guess, I think that's an obvious one. To say Lance is going to be better than Sko and Tutu. Yeah, that makes sense. Like
Chris, you disrespecting Tutu. I can't stand.
We haven't even talked about Puka yet, who's blatantly just
Puka Nacua. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I want to see that conversation. I like Puka. Look, smoking on Puka. Listen. Yes, I like Puka. Puka got great potential.
Yeah, I'm excited for him, man. Because if he can be that Robert Woods role that we've been missing, that we missed all last year, because Allen Robinson wasn't that. You know what I
But
mean?
in all fairness, that's not just Allen Robinson. He had no quarterback chemistry.
Well,
That
yeah, but
it
also, I
never
mean,
developed.
you got to be able to figure out something, man. You know what I mean? Like
Sometimes it's
he
it's
looked he
chemistry
looked
though.
lazy on routes and stuff. Like, I mean, maybe it was because he's not ever getting looks, and even when he was wide open, Matthew Stafford's still forcing the ball to cut. But like, I mean, there's
But
too many times
he
he's
don't,
lazy,
he
man.
don't know his rhythm. They didn't have no training camp. For instance, look, Joe, look, check this out. You know how to do podcasts. You know how to do a radio show, right?
Yeah,
Right. That's your thing, right?
yeah.
Now, say you got to go into somebody else's algorithm and it's messing up how you set up your thing.
Give me a year.
Chemistry.
Do I get a year?
Hey, sometimes it just don't work. It's like oil and water. It just never.
Well,
But
and I'm not trying to talk bad on Allen Robinson. I'm just, it didn't work, and if we could get a guy who can fill that role in Woods' head, we're way better off for it.
yeah. Oh
Maybe
yeah,
that's Puka.
I agree. But some of y'all fans be scandalous. Y'all be going hard, man. Y'all be like, dang, you just disrespect that man like that.
That's never my intention. My intention is never to disrespect any of these players or anything like that, because like obviously they're in the NFL. They're very talented. You know what I mean? Like you're at a baseline of talent already if you're in this league. You know what I mean? But when you got other guys coming in and performing better than you, like that's it. Like
so have you jumped off the Cam train?
Off Cam Akers?
Yeah.
No, man. Not. I was in the middle of the season when his stuff was going down, but the way he ended the year, he looked hungry. He looked fast. He was running hard. So based on that, I'm excited to see him this year. I don't think he's the one guy. I think we needed Sony Michel to come in. We need Kyron Williams to play well. We need Zach Evans to come in and play well too. Like it can't just be Cam. But I like Cam a lot.
It's definitely got to be by committee.
Yeah, like, and I like bringing in Sony Michel. I don't know if he's here just for camp or in preseason or what, but I like that move. I know a lot of fans didn't, but I'm a fan of it.
You got to have a vet somewhere to create. Yeah. You got to create a culture to your team. Yeah. If you don't have
and we've done that at a few positions with like Hello Witherspoon coming in at corner. I think that's great because the youth at that spot. It's like our best guy is 14, like you said. Like so and he's year 2. So it's like having somebody who's been around, he's been on multiple teams, that is so helpful.
Yeah, because like when you the young bull and you ready to go, a lot of times you ain't checking your blind side because you thinking you tight. Yeah, you tight.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of stuff you're gonna learn because everything is about positioning. It's a split, it's a microsecond. If you beat off it's over. Yeah. I don't give a damn how good you are. You're cooked, buddy. Next play.
It goes to that deep ball to Cup in the playoffs against the Bucks, where that was not his route. That wasn't his route. And based on what he saw, he decided to keep on going. And for some crazy reason, their connection, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, and their ability to see the same stuff, which is mind-blowing to me. The level of same pageness that they have is next level. So it's like seeing that play and where that was not Kupp's route, but then he hits it and then Stafford hits it deep. Like that kind of stuff there you got to have that.
Man, and that's that connection. Everybody don't got that. Now, name me a better wide receiver and a quarterback duo. Who's better than that right now?
In the NFL right now?
Right now.
Ooh, let's think about it. Let's go through them.
And this is how we're gonna find out how good this offense is gonna be once it stay healthy. Find me a better quarterback wide receiver duo than Matthew Stafford. Maybe y'all know. And but there ain't too many.
If anybody's got one. My brain immediately goes to Mahomes and Kelsey. That's a good combo. Let's see. We can't say anybody from the Niners because they don't even know who their quarterback is. So
exactly. That's a different demon we got to battle, you know. But
because of the level that Justin Jefferson is at, you could do the Cousins Jefferson combo. He's that good. He's good enough to carry Cousins, I think. We could look at Allen and Diggs.
Ain't Diggs gone though?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, there was some weird stuff going on there for a minute, but
I'll take Diggs. Bring Diggs to LA. Diggs.
No, man, no. I'm already because I love bringing in these vets, but I'm also a little bit bummed about it because like I want the youth. I want to see all the young guys out there.
I
I
do
want to
too.
see all these young. I want to see Trey Tomlinson. I want to see Puka Nakua. I want to see Byron Young. Like I want to see these guys. It's
Somebody
fun.
said Russell Wilson and the other team's DBs. Yeah, that's scandalous. Tucker, he be throwing picks all the time.
Damn, that was rough. That's harsh, man. Damn, Edwin. Like,
Dang. But
Yeah.
okay, but okay, you got that. You got, but that's where I feel like we'll be okay. I really think we'll be okay. Our biggest demons are the Niners. We're gonna have to see the Egos.
Yep.
And
NFC is not very good, and I personally think that the like in the NFC, first of all, it's so weak. There's going to be a team that we're not talking about right now that's going to be
Yep.
much better than anticipated. For some reason, I feel like it comes out of the NFC South. One of those teams is going to rise for no reason at all, and then I think the Philadelphia Eagles do take a step back this year. So I think the NFC is wide open.
Ooh,
And
they look scary though.
as long as you can make the playoffs. I don't like their coach. I still don't. I know he just made a Super Bowl, but I still don't like him. I don't know what it is, man.
Who's better than him? Name me 5 coaches better than that coach.
The Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, I'm just asking because look, you got to give me some knowledge. He made it to the Super Bowl. You got to tell me why you hate him. Because he turned that team around. Learn me something.
He's got a pretty stacked roster, man. And I guess you could have said that about McVay as well when he first came in.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, to answer that question, McVay is in that conversation for sure.
Okay.
But oh, you want to go? Okay, McVay, I'll give Staley. I think is better than him. I think that
Pete Carroll's better than him.
I think that Mike McDaniel's better than him. I think Sean McDermott's better. Trying to go through here. Mike Tomlin's better. Yeah, dude.
So would you say he's top 15 or top 30? Or no, bottom 30?
I would put him in. He's definitely bottom half, in my opinion.
Dang, so you say he's 16 down?
Yeah, I think so. And maybe I don't know what goes on in those meetings, and maybe I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, damn.
But right now, I mean, I wouldn't say he's the worst because I think that even without games being played, I feel confident saying that Jonathan Gannon is the worst coach in the NFL. There's something about that dude. I don't trust him at all, man. I would be so mad if I was a Cardinals fan. I'd be so mad. But because I'm a Rams fan, I love that hire. That's the thing.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, man. I mean, yeah, he made the Super Bowl, and you have to consider that and stuff like that. But I don't know, man.
Okay, we're gonna see.
Players like him, and people say that a lot, but players also loved Jeff Fisher. So
you know what? I ain't gonna lie. When he first came, I was happy. I was because it was the mustache, bro.
I was so pissed.
I said at least we're gonna have a good defense, and we did, but that was it.
I was so pissed.
We had Johnny Hecker too.
I was alone in being mad about it, man. I was like, man, I don't want Jeff Fisher. It's like this dude's stuck in the 80s. He had a stacked Titans team that lost to the Rams in the Super Bowl. Then he's kind of not done anything. And I was mad about it, man. I did not want Jeff Fisher. I know it was between the Rams and the Dolphins. I wanted the Dolphins to hire him so bad, dude. So bad.
I got tired of Jeff Fisher I was just like, yo, he has no swag. I started watching. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Fisher, where's your energy at? Like, I'm like, damn, man. Yeah. I don't want to go play right now. Like, I'm just like, where's your energy? Then it's like, there's not going to be no 7-9 bullshit. It's like, that's exactly a 7-9 thing to say.
Luckily we weren't. We were way worse than that. Like,
we were 4-12.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
I just picture. I cannot get it out of my head. Whenever I think about Jeff Fisher, is him looking for the flag. I think it was in Seattle, looking for the challenge flag in his jacket.
Oh,
that's all I can picture. That's all.
I'm like, he had that puffy, man.
That image is burned into my brain, dude. That's so embarrassing.
Honestly, though, those were the best times being Rams fans, though, because it was like I mean, not the losing part, but it was like as a community, I felt like we were all just like, dude, we can do something about this, like, you know.
That's the thing too, is like, and I'll say this about like even Jeff Fisher and like just that era specifically, in like the lead up to the relocation, I hated it because it was like on every single topic, Rams fans were split.
Yeah.
It was you either hated Fisher, you loved him. You wanted the Rams to stay in St. Louis, you wanted them to move. You like the old uniforms, you like the new uniform. Like everything is so split, and it's been like we finally have some kind of common ground right now where the Rams fans are just like, well, we'll see about this year. Like, hopefully it's good. Like, that's like the only thing we find common ground on in like years, man.
Hold on. You know, my man first Josh says he would take Fisher as a defensive coordinator. I would say I wouldn't, because remember Alec Ogletree, we always had undisciplined stuff. I would say no. What would you say about that?
I don't want him anywhere near the Rams.
He said, get him out. Get him out.
Stay in Montana. That's fine. Like, no, his energy is what really gets me. And that's why I was like, you go from Jeff Fisher to Sean McVay. It really is like going from a minivan to a Ferrari. You're like, this is crazy exciting. Like, not okay. I'll even say, for a better example there, it's like going from a minivan to like just like a normal Lexus or something. You're like, wow, this is unbelievable. Is it fine? Yeah. Is it awesome? Yeah, it's awesome. Is it the best of all time? I mean, maybe not, but like,
it's the best for us.
Ahead of the minivan, this is unreal. Like, that leap is incredible.
Yes, I
Oh my
love
God, Josh. I swear, Josh, why is this happening in my comment section right now? I'm gonna put this one up. All right, let's talk about this one. You forget he built the team McVay inherited. Who's still here, or who was on the Super Bowl team from the Jeff Fisher era?
Aaron Donald.
Is that end of list right there?
Johnny Hecker.
I mean, we can count that. It's a punter, but Havenstein.
Yep, I've seen that. Yep.
Rockers was not on the Super Bowl championship team.
Yeah, he was on a losing effort though in 2018.
That's kind of my point. Is it like he inherited a team that he that's actually a worse example, Josh, if you're trying to defend Fisher here at all, because you want to look at 2016 compared to 2017. Those two rosters were very similar. One won 4 games and one went to the playoffs. So that's actually like, that makes that argument go away, I think.
It's look, Sean is special. Look, I mean, and like at first, look, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it real as a fan. I didn't want McVay as a fan because I don't know no better. I was a fan. I'm like, give me Gruden. I'm a bad guy. Don't ever ask me. Right. But I was like, I don't want this guy. And then when I saw his interview, bro, I was like, yo, this dude is the greatest communicator ever. If somebody, when you take orders from somebody, when somebody delivers it the way to you how Sean McVay does it, and it has purpose and everything, you can't help but win, bro. You can't help it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all just the attitude too. That goes back to the mental thing. Like Edwin says here, with Fisher, Goff went 0-7 and looked like it was an absolute bust. Like, that was like Rams fans were watching Jared Goff play his rookie year, and it was like, what have we done? Like, we like, this is butchered. Then that same quarterback just has one off season with McVay, and he's a playoff quarterback, and he goes to a Super Bowl. Like, come on now.
Hey, look, Chris said, I'm pretty sure the towel guy is still around.
He probably.
Fisher did something, boy. Come on, man.
You know what? I will say this, and I've said this so many times on Ram Showcase, and I don't know if anybody that's here would know this or like have caught this or anything like that. I've said multiple times, I think Jeff Fisher would be a good GM. I think he was very good at finding talent.
Yeah, he was.
He was very good at finding talent. He just couldn't coach him for crap.
I think too, Jeff Fisher, even the different, like when he got into it with Eric Dickerson, I said, Fisher, this is what distracts you from your greatness. Like he gets distracted. Like, you got to stay here. Yeah. Like you made those last games about Eric Dickerson. Oh, he don't come to then it don't matter if he come or not. Are we gonna have a game plan?
Exactly.
Like, we don't give a, like, we love ED. We do. We love ED. But bro, we don't, like, what does that got to, how's that distracting the team?
Josh is picking out Josh is cherry picking here with this.
He did hire.
I'm not trying to pick on you, Josh, or anything, but like, you're cherry picking and for some reason defending Fisher, and I really don't understand it. I'm
Uh-oh,
super
don't piss him
confused.
off. You don't want Sheriff to give you them handcuffs,
I'm,
job. You got
I'm just so confused at how anybody is like, but hold on, Fisher did he? Did he? Like, I don't know, man. All right, and I don't want to cut you short or anything like that, man. I do have another guest I want to pop on here, dude. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, man.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having
so
me,
good to
Joe.
talk to you. How do I get one of those shirts?
Compton Mania, look, just hit me up in the DM. We do jerseys. I think these 125. You know, we'll ship them to you. We got a show August 26th, the Ghetto Gauntlet. Follow Compton Mania on YouTube and everywhere, man. All love and respect. Horns up, baby. Let's go.
Man. One of the best human beings that I know, man. One of the genuinely best,
my brother,
you are up there, man. There's like Lee Kakati, he's the front man from Pop Evil. Great dude. I have stories about him that we don't even because I work at a radio station now. I get to meet cool people, but like he's one of them. Like incredible dude. And Showtime right here, man. It's going all the way to the hotel just to give us some shirts, dude. Like we were walking back up to the hotel room, and it was like, dude, he is the best. Dude. Like,
yeah, you my guy, man. I appreciate you, man. I remember too. Remember when you told me to ask Tremaine Johnson something at training camp, man? That's that's like I appreciate you, man. The longer you've been doing this, has just been encouraging me to keep building my situation. So, look, you a hero out here, Joe. All love, horns up, one family, baby.
Dude, always good to talk to you, man. We will absolutely be in touch very soon. All right.
All right. Peace out, fam.
Later, man. God, that was great, huh? That dude's fun to talk to, man. Jeez, that's like the thing is I had to like physically like have to like find a moment where it's like, all right, I have to cut this conversation because I will talk with him forever, man. Dude's so much fun to talk to. But speaking of having another guest here, and this is kind of like, I'll be honest here, what's happening tonight is kind of my vision for this, and how this Ram Showcase Live will unfold. It's kind of weird that I'm in like a Broncos basement for the first one that goes the way that I've kind of always imagined, but hey, it's still good. But we got a face that you might recognize here, Rams House.
What's up?
Dude, what is up, man?
It's good to see you, man, but I gotta say, it looks weird to see you sitting in a room with a bunch of blue and orange. Are you switching teams on us?
It's weird to be around orange. I'll tell you that, man. But I hold on to the fact that Christmas Day.
Oh yeah,
that's all we gotta say.
yeah. I was gonna say maybe you just went up to the house just to be like, we just kind of crushed you on Christmas. I just got to bring some tissues over to you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just I've never been more proud. Because I was at my sister's house on that day, and it's in Thornton, Colorado. So like when I left, I had to go home. I'm driving down I-25, which is the stadium's right off of I-25.
Oh yeah.
I have never driven my own car more proudly than when I'm driving past the Broncos stadium 3 hours after that game ended. I could feel the eyeballs just like screw this. Like my plates say LA Rams, and I got like a big old Rams logo on the back, like that. So it's like they saw, they knew. So
yeah,
it's good stuff, man.
Well, and it says a lot too because when like over Christmas and like maybe even a couple weeks after that, I had like one of the worst sicknesses I've ever had. It was like not only like physically taxing, but like demoralizing to me. Like it was so hard just to be able to get up and walk. But when I was watching that Rams game, it was like I had a whole new energy, and it was like the sickness was gone just for that little spin. I was able to cheer and have a bunch of fun, and that's kind of the cool part about Rams games and about football. Like you can just let go of life for a couple hours, and watch a game. And so that game was really fun. It gave me a bunch of energy. I was able to jump up and down and cheer. Then after that, I was like, oh man, I'm tired now.
Dude, I've got a story. I stayed home sick one day from school, and I was not sick, right? And so I was like just trying to make it the whole day because like my dad was home and stuff like that. So I was like just trying to be lazy and stuff like that. I'm just like, and so I have a story. I don't know if anybody will know this game or this player at all, but I like Texas A&M. That's the college that I watch.
Yeah.
Right? So we were actually watching Texas A&M versus Texas basketball game, and it was coming down to the wire, and AC Law, who used to play for Texas A&M, he hits this last second 3-pointer to win the game. And me being like, just like, I just get lost in sports, you know what I mean? Like when there's a game going on, I'll get sucked into it.
Oh yeah.
Me forgetting that I'm supposed to be sick right now. I start jumping and stuff like that. My dad just like gives me this look of like, what?
Oh my gosh.
And then I just like,
That's
I had to like try to play it off of like, oh man, I was just like, I don't know. Like,
yeah. Oh, head rush. Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, what a dumb move for me to get like so pumped.
Imagine if you were playing sick with that Rams Raiders game last year and you like the game winning touchdown. You're like,
oh man, I wouldn't have been able. Yeah, I would have just turned around and been like, so I was lying. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh man, that's so funny though. I still picture that of just like sitting in the living room with my dad watching that game, and like that shot goes in, and I just lose my mind, and it was like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be super sick right now, like so sick I couldn't go to school or anything. Like, and I think I was trying to play it into like a day thing too. So like that moment, it was like, well, you gotta go to school tomorrow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's
so
cool though.
Yeah, what's on your mind, man? What do you want to talk about? I know that we have like message threads and stuff like that. That we kind of go in all over the place, and it goes random, and it kind of just you never know where that's gonna go. But like, there's a lot going on right now. So what do you want to hit on, man?
Yeah, I was initially gonna talk about how like I feel like we're gonna have a better season than people think, but I feel like that's kind of been a trend like the last couple of weeks and even like the last couple of guests. So I don't really want to go like too in on that. But what are you most excited for to see in training camp and preseason, like as far as position groups or players? Because I have a few of my own, but I just want to hear first what you think.
Cool. Yeah, I think that the quick answer would be I'm very excited to see just a lot of defensive players because we have so much youth, especially in the secondary and at the linebacker spot, that like I feel like that is just going to be exciting. And like what I was telling to Deshaun was like, it's like whoever is next to Ernest Jones, he earned that job because it's not like whoever starts in that spot is there because they were good last year. Like they're earning it in this preseason, this training camp. So that's very exciting to me. I'm also really excited to see some of these wide receivers, especially guys like Puka. I'm really excited to see what he can do. I'm really excited to see if like Ben Skoranek takes that next step, if Tutu Atwell takes that next step. So that'll be something I'm keeping an eye on for sure. And then in preseason specifically, I'm actually really interested to see Stetson Bennett because he's one of those guys that we hope we don't need him this year. Like we hope his jersey never gets dirty, his cleats never get wet. We just hope he's on the sideline wearing a hat all season long. You know what I mean? That's best case scenario. But preseason, that's his time to shine. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm excited to see him there and see what he brings, man, especially in those first like real live action reps. So that's kind of my, and I realize that's everywhere, all over, except
I was going to say
like, and even if we can throw in special teams too, because we got a new coordinator, new returner, new punter, new kicker, new whole, like everything is new. So that is another one too, where it's like, let's see how their rhythm starts to unfold through the preseason too.
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to my dad recently, and he's like, like preseason's coming up. We got to get to do that. And then we got the regular season pretty soon. I was like, actually, this is like one of the preseasons I've been like most excited for in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I know you've talked about this like on your podcast before, and I completely agree with it. Like, it's cool to be really good and to like have high expectations and all that, like we have in the years past. But it's also really cool to know nothing about what's going to happen. Like, we could be really good, we could be really bad. Who knows? But we like don't know about so many of these players, and there's so many position groups open that are going to be won eventually. And I think that's going to be the fun part, like not only in preseason and in camp and all that, but like in the regular season too. And I was talking to my dad too. I was like, it's cool to see like a guy that we drafted with Stetson Bennett and like the success he's had compared to like, not to knock Wolford or Perkins, but even like with them, like we didn't expect much. I know some Rams fans really like John Wolford, but in my opinion, he wasn't all that great.
He was fine,
and so, and we kind of knew what to expect with him, but like, there's so many of these guys that we don't know what to expect. And so for me, I'm really excited for the edge rushers. Like, that's going to be really fun. Byron Young's definitely one of the guys that I'm like most excited to see from this rookie class. Like he's just electric. And cornerback room is also one that I'm keeping my eye on. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with Robert Rochelle because it's like he got playing time in his rookie year, then he got hurt, and then we just didn't really see much of him.
Hmm.
And I'm still hearing like from press conferences and podcasts and all that, it seems like there's more hype and more of like the Rams staff being impressed with like guys like Darion Kendrick, obviously Jacoby Durant, and they're not really mentioning Rochelle. And so I'm not sure where that's at, but I think the whole cornerback room is going to be really fun to watch too.
I absolutely agree with you there. It's like, well, I'll go back to your comment that you made about like just the unknown this year.
Yeah.
It's like I think back to last year, week 1, home against the Bills, Thursday Night Football, 31-10 game. The
Mhm.
frustration was like so palpable. Like it was like because the whole emotion was like we're better than this though. Like what
Yeah.
are we doing? So it's like this year it's like if we lose 31-10 in week 1, first of all, I'm only mad because it's Seattle. You know, it's a division game.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like you don't want to lose a division game like that.
Yeah.
But it's also like, well, it's most of these guys' first NFL games. So like
Mhm.
how mad
Who
are we
knows?
really gonna be?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It felt that Bills game was really frustrating too, especially with the expectations we kind of had like from the media, but also like with ourselves. We're like, man, we're gonna be really good again. Like we might run it back, who knows? And then it kind of felt like the whole team was just kind of asleep, and it
Yeah.
was like they kind of forgot to show up, or maybe like a bunch of fans dressed up and played for them. And I was like, that game kind of left me speechless. I was like, okay, it's week 1, but like what just happened? I have no idea what just happened. But
It was one of those. I left that game like driving home from watching that one. I remember like having the thought of like we may not be that good. Like I was
yeah,
like really, it was like this is not it. Like you can tell. Like and it just
yeah,
like you said, it's like players just seemed almost half speed, and it was like it's like it just wasn't there. You know, it's like the
mhm,
effort level wasn't the same and stuff like that.
yeah,
Especially out of certain players, it just wasn't there and just yeah, I remember it was even though it was just week 1, and I kept on trying to like hype myself up, but like it's just one game. This will be like now
yeah.
we have a long week because it was Thursdays, like so maybe they'll take that and kind of be like, okay, no, like let's get back to this. But it's just something about that game specifically felt very like, oh no, like this is not
Yeah,
gonna be fun. Like,
I feel like that's kind of like it can only take like one game for you to kind of see where the team's mindset is at
yeah,
because I heard a lot of people like in the training camp and the stuff like they do those post training camp type of like interviews with the players and all that
mhm,
or even just like between the horns and things like that. And they're talking about like, this Rams team, like people are wondering, is their mindset still there? Are they going to be lax now that they won it? And they would always be saying like, we don't get that mindset from this team. We don't get that vibe. But you don't really know until you start playing games
yep,
because that's like when it really counts. And in that game, I was like, it just kind of feels like for like, okay, we won the Super Bowl, we're the best, we're not like really fighting for anything. If we lose, it's fine. If we win, it's fine. Like that kind of thing. Then all the injuries happen. So
it's like expected to be good. Like we
like
expect
autopilot.
we expected ourselves to be good kind of thing, and then it's like you go
Yeah.
into it and it's just not working, and then yeah, just I don't know, it just didn't work out. But then also like think of it this way is like the off season last year, I remember having the conversation with you of like geez, like it feels like as this game's like kicking off, is like I feel like we just played the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago, man. Like
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
definitely.
And this feels like it's forever. You know what I mean? Like because we
Hmm.
weren't in the playoffs, it's like, oh
Yeah,
man, this is what off seasons felt like for all those years and stuff. And those Super Bowl off seasons were quick, man. Like
I
so I gotta
know.
think that has something to do with it. And we almost needed this reset in a way,
Yeah,
you know.
because like I think it's kind of cool too that like if you look at it in this way that we didn't have a pretty solid season or a good season, make it to the playoffs, go to like let's just say a wild card or divisional round, something like that.
Mhm.
Like that would have been really cool, but I don't know if that really would have kind of like you said reset our mindset because it feels like everybody's hungry again. Like the,
Yeah,
the players that are still left on this team,
yeah.
it
Well, and
feels
then
like go
but
ahead.
you think of like the all the players that are still here from that, and like
Yeah,
now they're re-hungry again. But then you got all
yeah.
these young guys who are coming into the NFL for the first time, so they're hungry. Like
Hmm.
I love it.
They got to win some jobs,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
and then
jobs to be had. So
yeah,
the perfect team to
same.
get them.
I would say like the same thing with McVay too. Like he went through so much last year,
Yeah.
and like just overall as a person too, combined with like especially with like the great coaches, it takes so much. You have to pour so much of yourself into it if you really want to be good. Put so many hours into it, and you could just tell he's like demoralized. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if we really saw a lot of his creativity in the offense, but I don't necessarily blame him because it's like first off, you didn't really have the guys that you can trust and depend on to deliver those McVay like type of game plans. But also, it's like, man, we just like keep losing games, keep losing guys. I'm like exhausted from the season. I don't even know if I'm coming back, and so I think that's going to be some sort of underrated thing too. Like he's going to be rejuvenated, re-energized, and be like, no, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Like I still got it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. This season for McVay is going to be one of those where I feel like this year is the year we find out just how good he is.
Yeah.
Because of the youth and what happened last year, it's like this is the year we really will, in my opinion, find out how good of a coach he is overall.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all those factors, because of everything that happened last year, the overhaul that we have this year, and the young guys. And I can't stress that part enough as the youth. It's like if you can get a bunch of guys in who came from all over the place, all these colleges all over the country, and get them to become a unit this year, we're looking pretty good. So like that's cool. I wanted to bring this comment up. It's been a bit since the comment was actually commented. But this is a conversation that we very briefly had. David says that he's heard Michael Hoyt is playing poorly in camp. I have not heard that Michael Hoyt is playing poorly in camp. What I have heard, though, is that somebody somewhere put out a list of like picking out one player from each team of like who is their biggest bust candidate, and Michael Hoyt was the Rams. And I'm seeing a lot of fans mad at this. I'm seeing a lot of like angry reaction to this. And I get nobody ever wants to hear their own team and be like, here's who might be terrible for you this year. It's like that's always going to create some kind of be like, hey, hold on. Like people get really fast. But I'll say this. If I was asked to pick a player on this entire team who I think is a bust candidate or probably the biggest bust candidate on this roster, I'm going Hoyt, man. Like, and that's not a shot at him. He's got the coolest tattoo on the team. He's awesome. He's very raw at his position, and I think that's obviously got to be considered too. That like he's playing a position he's only played for what 6 games or something like that. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But I would say that he had trouble sealing off the edges last year. He kind of walked into a couple of those sacks, and because people keep commenting the number that he had, and it's like, well, I mean, some of those were handed to him. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on Hoyt going into this year?
Well, first off, I was kind of surprised when he said like the player to pick as like the biggest bust. He didn't say Tutu Atwell, to be honest.
I don't think I think he's already done it. That's why I don't pick him.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're saying like heading into this year, people who haven't. Okay,
I got no trust.
I see what you mean now,
man. Like, yeah, but Michael Hoyt is like Tutu Atwell was the 8th best wide receiver on this team right now. Like, but if you were looking like on our defense, Michael Hoyt is being kind of penciled in as a starter.
Yeah, and a good one too is what. Yeah. Okay, so I see what you mean now. Yeah, I agree with you too that there are a lot of times that he's just kind of out of position, especially like I feel like when he just started getting going, there wasn't really a lot of tape on him with him being on the edge. There wasn't a lot of like teams weren't getting ready to kind of expose him, you know, like that wasn't part of their game plan. And so when he started getting in there, then teams were like, okay, let's test him, let's go at him, let's go outside, see if he knows how to read it right. And that's where we kind of saw a little bit more of the inconsistencies. I feel like he's like a good player maybe to rotate around with some of these younger guys, as I was kind of saying before. Like, I think it'd be cool to get a good look at a bunch of guys this year because it's just kind of like a development type of year, in my opinion. Not to say that we'll do bad, but like this is the year that we want some young guys to get some playing time. So I think he would be a good like pass rusher to put out there, but not to really rely on as like your number one edge, you know? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But hopefully over the offseason he's been able to learn it a little bit better and get a little bit more of it down.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like we don't ever know, like going from one off season to the next off season, that could be the thing that a player needed. You know what I mean? Like like players can have just a random break. Well, it feels random to us because we're not like seeing them. We're not seeing Michael Hoyt in his basement, you know, lifting weights and stuff like that. Like, we're not seeing all this stuff or the tape that he's watching and stuff like that. Like we're not seeing these thought processes unfold with him. So it can happen at any moment. But like Uh, Michael Hoyt is not a bust. That's crazy. Not yet. He's a candidate for it though. Like, I'm not saying he is a bust right now, but he is.
This year will be big for sure.
He's in that conversation. Like, yeah, this year he either performs well and sticks around, or he doesn't perform well, loses his job to a young guy, and he's not even on this team next year, which I would kind of consider a bust in a way. Like, if we end up with Daniel Hardy and Byron Young as our two edge rushers, I think that's close enough to saying that Hoyt didn't do well enough and that was a bust. Like, because he had so much hype last year and stuff like that. And I like Hoyt a lot, actually, but I actually just really prefer him on the defensive line. I think that's just where he's better. And maybe, like we had kind of said, maybe this offseason and stuff like that is the year that he kind of takes that leap at outside linebacker. But I think from my perspective and what I know and based on what we've seen, I think he's better on the defensive line. I don't think that's crazy to say at all. Okay, silly fun guy, best name on YouTube coming in here saying Bruss might be a bust. This
he's barely even played.
Doesn't have basis yet. We don't know that yet. And yeah, you're right. He might be.
Everybody could be, you know.
But also, we have no idea. He's played a preseason game in like a quarter. Like, we have no idea who he is. So to put him on the list, I would think is a little unfair to Bruss. Honestly, I think that's like we just don't know. It's like saying that it's in Bennett. It's like, well, we don't know that yet. Like,
yeah,
it might be like, but maybe not. So, yeah.
I also feel like with that Hoyt thing that we were talking about, I'm trying to remember how we picked him up. Was he undrafted or was he a later round pick?
He was with the Bills, I believe. And I want to say that he was waived and we got him off waivers.
I mean, I guess that could be considered a bust too, but I feel like what we've gotten out of him is kind of a good value, I guess, if you look at it in that way.
Even if he like doesn't play this year really and he kind of just finds his way off the roster next offseason, we got more than enough out of him. Yeah, for how we got him. Yeah, for sure. We've gotten our value.
Yeah, because we didn't really spend a pick on him.
It's kind of a messed up way to like look at these human beings that we're talking about here, but like
I know. I don't think we'd say this to their face if we saw them.
Yeah,
we'd be like, "Oh, you're awesome."
I would definitely not say this to his face. I'd be like, "Dude, you're like, but like you did enough based on like how you got here." Like, what the hell? Could you imagine your job telling you that? Like, it's like, well, based on like you were like our fourth pick, so we got more than enough out of you. Like, if you left now, that's fine. Like, we feel good about it.
Did you hear what some of the people are saying about you? They're saying that you're not even that good, so we kind of agree with
that. Dude, that's my greatest fear, I think, is like people from like in my world, we are like public, you know what I mean? Like not as public as the NFL, obviously, but like people hear me every day and stuff like that. But like if there was like people sitting here on a podcast being like, yeah, but Sheriff Joe Baggs, the night guy, I mean, he's all right, but like he's probably gonna be a bust this year. Like this, if he really put it together this year, then we should move on from it. Like, it's my fear, dude. Actually, I'll say this: my work fear. We were looking through old archived photos, and there was a couple that were labeled unknown staff, and right away it was like, oh, new fear unlocked. It was like I don't want to be that forgotten. Where they're like, we don't even know who this guy was.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's funny.
I'm interested in really fun guys here saying like what he's seeing or maybe not seeing in Bruss of why he's already formed his opinion. Silly fun guy, best name on YouTube. Please clarify what you have not seen in Bruss that you want to see in Bruss.
I feel like sometimes too people can easily forget about like what happened to players, or even like when you're talking about Cooper Kupp in the season that he had in 2021. Then now people are just kind of like, oh, that was just like a one-hit wonder type of thing, you know? Even though that's completely wrong. Like he was on pace to have another great year last year. Even with players that are still really good and improving that, I feel like it's so easy for people to kind of get turned off or just forget about a player. And who knows, maybe we're doing that with Hoyt too. I don't know.
Honestly, I think that we're doing that with a lot of Rams players this year, simply based on how many people got hurt last year.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about all of them.
Yeah. I definitely prefer to have Alaric Jackson at left tackle, but what if Noteboom comes back and he's really good all of a sudden? It's like,
because
I don't know, because he was, and there were so many high expectations, but then he had that really bad game against the Bills, and then it wasn't looking too good until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's like another example of it because everybody I feel like was like, this guy's a hidden gem every time he came in for Whitworth or
Well,
came in at guard too.
in the playoffs for that Super Bowl run, it's like people forget that against the Bucks, Whitworth didn't play. That was
Yeah,
no boom at left tackle there. Like
you
it
would
was
have thought he
fine.
did though.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like because you see, like, of course, like that the funniest clip in the universe to me is when that one where Andrew Whitworth is walking back to the sideline and he's just giving that side eye to Hutchinson or whatever. And that is or Hendrickson maybe, whoever it
Yeah,
is with the Bengals. But that was the funniest thing in the universe. He's just side eyeing the whole walk to the sideline. I love that. Yeah, it's stuff like that. It's like you think that he was just there the entire time, but like I don't think he played
yeah.
against the Cardinals, right? Is that correct?
No, Whitworth against the car. I don't think so. You'd
Because
have to fact check that though.
there was like conversation that like he may not be in a Super Bowl. Like if the Rams
Yeah,
get there, like he may not play. But then of course it was like I think he kind of knew that like if the Rams made the Super Bowl, that was going to be it for him. So it's like
yeah,
he's playing. Like it's his last
yeah,
football game ever anyway. So like might as well. Even if you get hurt, like you got to be there though, man. Like
yeah. Well, speaking of that Andrew Whitworth thing with him staring down Trey Hendrickson,
Oh
Johnny and
yeah,
I, my brother who likes the Bengals, we were rewatching the mic'd up for the both teams that package that was on YouTube
yeah.
recently just to rewatch the Super Bowl, which was kind of brave of him to go through all those emotions again. Anyway, it got to that point where he saw Whitworth staring him down, and he's like, "Man, I just don't like Whitworth." Like he's he was like that annoyed him, especially because Johnny like completely agreed with you when you said things like Kurt Warner when he went to the Cardinals and is
Yeah,
only talking about like the Cardinals and associating. Johnny feels the same way where he's just like Whitworth is always associating himself with the Rams and like forgetting about the Bengals and all that. So it was kind of
makes
funny
sense.
when we rewatched that.
It does. It makes total sense that like because once a player leaves you and then they just like hype up their new team constantly, it's like all right, like I guess he's them now. Like that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not to take away anything
Yeah.
that Warner did with the Rams or anything. Obviously, he's one of two Rams quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. It's amazing, but like it's like he blatantly is all over the Cardinals. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
we call him Cardinal Kurt for a reason. We didn't make that up out of thin air just because our feelings were hurt or something like that. It's like he blatantly
Yeah.
wants them more. So we're not getting a follow up here from Silly Fun Guy yet. Maybe he's typing furiously right now.
Yeah.
Big old
I've
comment.
got all
About
these
that.
explanations.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a thick.
Yeah.
Bengals forgot about Big Wit. Oh, so Edwin says the opposite here. That it's not Wit forgetting the Bengals. It's the Bengals forgetting about Wit.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, I'm not a Bengals fan, so I wouldn't know, but
Yeah. I had like I don't know. I was very hesitant with my like emotions, I guess, bringing in Whitworth because I just had that Jake Long in my head still.
yeah.
I couldn't get rid of that when signing another veteran. It was like, yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
That was really how I felt. It was like, yeah, we'll see. Like,
Yeah.
and then it worked out.
Well, and that's another thing too that I feel like happens a lot is like everybody like just fans of the NFL will be like, well, like when the Rams brought in a vet before at tackle, he didn't perform very well, so Whitworth will probably be bad. Kind of like in
Yeah.
the same way, or like you're like kind of in the middle, but in the same way when I know we talked about somewhat recently when we were talking about the kicker situation, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid to lose Matt Gay because after he lost Zerline, then we were just going to like Sam Sloman, Sam Ficken, like all these kickers,
Ficken.
and
Oh my God, I forgot about Ficken. That's funny.
yeah. And it was just like, I don't know, that was like torture. And then you're like, well, that doesn't mean it's gonna be the same way when we lose Gay. I was like, I guess that's true. Like these are individual players with different stories. They could we could find the replacement right away. Who knows?
Yeah, and who I kind of feel bad. I can't even name our kicker right now.
Is it Christopher Dunn or is that our punter? I don't know.
No, our punter is Evans.
I feel like it's Christopher Dunn, but maybe that's the one that got cut.
Dude, I don't know. Our entire special teams, we're gonna have to learn all these guys again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're also like, I think our kicker and punter are in the 40s in their numbers.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I don't know. I don't know if I love it. I also don't like the 0 rule, but you guys kind of know that. I think that's just my grumpy old man coming out. Like, because I definitely am like a little bit of like a purist in that sense of like, whenever they change the rules, like this new kicking rule, I'm very grumpy old man about that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Like, yeah, and then so like the 0 rule in my mind, it's like, I mean, that feels very high school to me. Like,
Yeah.
having a 0 out there, you know what I mean? So that's all
Yeah.
it is, and it's nothing like actually bad. And who knows? Maybe Byron Young is the sickest player of all time, and it's like
I'm
all
kind of thinking he is.
like our first number 0 ever was a Hall of Famer. You know, like, what if that's the case? You know?
No, imagine if he's just really sick, and then after he has such a great Hall of Fame career that we retire number 0 and nobody ever gets to wear it again.
Dude, that I would kind of love. If he's the only
Yeah.
0 we ever have, I'm in for
I
that.
mean, who knows?
That's so awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
we're already watching the number 99 in Rams history. I would be blown away if they let somebody else wear 99.
I would too. That would be kind of disrespectful, I feel like.
Because like even I already hated when like Marty Gilliard showed up wearing 81, and I was like, "Yo, what the
Yeah. And now
Yeah,
Austin Trammell's wearing 81.
What's that?
I said now Austin Trammell's wearing number 81.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and see now I don't really think about it, but like I think immediately seeing somebody come in and right away wear 81, and it was Marty Gilliard. That was right away. I was like, I don't like this. It was like,
Yeah,
I guess and I wanted to give it like a
buffer, you know?
yeah, just like give it a gap.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I've seen some Rams fans be like, well, they let Wolford wear number 13, and so that probably means that they're gonna let anyone wear 99. I was like, I mean, you can't really. I don't know.
This got commented.
Wait, what?
That's so funny. Well, Stetson Bennett's in 13 now too, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say with Kurt Warner, it is a little bit different, considering the number of years he played for the Rams. I think that
No, I totally agree.
And it's again not to take anything away, and those were great years. Those were so much fun. Without those years, without Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, that team specifically, I'm probably not as big of a fan of football in general as I am. I'm probably more just a hockey guy because I've always loved hockey. But it's like with that era is what got me like it sucked me into being the fan that I am. You know, so
yeah,
I definitely have like a lot of that like held tightly. But as far as like the number of years that Warner played for the Rams, I just don't think it was enough to warrant retiring a number. That's all.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like Aaron Donald is just like, when you think of the Rams, that's probably who you think of. And he's been with us for so long. And so, like, I don't know. I feel like his legacy is even better, too. Like, even if Warner, I don't know. It's kind of hard to project what Warner would have done if he would have stayed. But, like, Donald's just been, like, consistently a monster. And I don't know. I feel like that you can't really compare the two. But
I remember the first time realizing how awesome Aaron Donald was. It was 2014 Rams hosting the Broncos. That was when we had Sean Hill.
Yeah.
Sean Hill was playing against Peyton Manning, and we won for no reason.
Yeah. Just random.
It's like I remember going into that game. I have my buddies with me. I pick up my buddies. We go over to Flatiron, stand there off a lake, and we're just watching the game there. And we're going in, and I'm kind of just like I'm being cocky, but like in like a joke way almost of like man, we're going down, like, you know. Blatantly, they were like a Super Bowl contender, and we were not. Like, you know, so like we're just doing that, and all of a sudden, like our defense is just getting after it, and like Sean Hill hits Kenny Britt deep for that touchdown, and I was like, all right, cool, like, this is good.
Yeah.
And then Rodney McLeod murdered Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like the coolest thing ever. And then, but Aaron Donald getting that sack on Peyton Manning was when I was like, this dude is he's the deal, man. Like, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Him getting that sack was like, all right, like this guy's unbelievable. He's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game was really fun too. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I was gonna say that game was really fun too because it was like, as you know, as I told you before, when I was a lot younger, with how big of a family I was in, I wasn't really able to watch a lot of Rams games because even if they were on TV, a lot of times they'd be like, no, we don't want to watch them. We want to watch, insert team here because everybody in my family likes a different team. And so this one was actually on TV in Colorado, and I was able to watch it because I would always just watch like the box score kind of like update thing that is on NFL.com, which is not fun at all.
Yeah.
But so when I got to see that, I was like, oh man, like, I don't think we're gonna win this game, but this is gonna be fun. And then I remember one that we just absolutely annihilated him. I was like, oh yeah," and then my family was just all quiet, and then I was just like, "Oh, sorry, I probably should be like a little
Yeah,
concerned, but that was really cool."
I'll say I'll say I had a few beers in me at that moment, and I like all my Bronco fan friends are there, and then like he like that hit comes, and you could see it coming. Like the ball's in the
Yeah,
air, and it's like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna
yeah,
he's about to die out here. And then like you see the hit coming, and you see like boom, like Rodney McLeod just lays the shoulder in. I I feel like that's probably like the biggest jerk I've ever been to my friends. I'm
oh
just like
no,
I was like in their face like go. It's like that hit was from me to your soul. Like that was like
oh my
oh,
gosh,
so funny, dude. It was so funny. But then I also that's kind of funny story too. Is it like the very next week the Rams and Chargers played, and me and my dad went to the same place to watch the game, and the Rams scored a touchdown late. And again, I'm going nuts. I'm like talking all this trash. And I had too many beers again and me and stuff like that. And I'm just going absolutely nuts. And then whatever happened, I don't remember that game, unfortunately. Probably because of the beers. But like then
yeah,
it's like, oh, you're talking about why, dude. But then the Chargers ended up winning that game. And then my dad, he's like, go! It's like I just had to take it, you know. Ugh,
yeah.
terrible.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Mm. Oh, your brother's here. Hey.
Oh, hi, Johnny. Wait, is he on the like? Is he backstage?
No, no. And I'm
Oh,
actually gonna get out
I
of here
think it'd
soon.
be
I'm in my mom's house and we're
okay.
like doing stuff. We're gonna do like food here soon and stuff like that. So I'm only gonna be here for a couple more minutes. But yeah, it's this has been great. This is exactly what I've envisioned
It
it
has.
being. Just being like bringing in guests, having conversations about the Rams. That's fun. I love this.
It's been like ever since the start too. You've had a
Yeah,
guest.
like right
Really,
away.
there hasn't really been like a bunch of yeah.
That
He
was
came out to support you.
that's Paul. He's a Jets fan, but
Yeah,
first non-Rams fan was your brother anyway. So yeah, we're open to that.
yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw what I chatted, like put in the chat about him, about the Jets fan that was on, because I know
Hmm.
like I heard you talk about him before on your podcast and how you guys are friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, we go way
And
back.
when we played yeah, when we played the Jets in 2020 and then we lost to them, that was like humiliating. But I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go check out his stream and like say how sad I am that we lost. So I put that in the chat. But he was losing his mind because he was mad because I put him out of like the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, and that would make it where he wouldn't be able to get
That's
him
right.
anymore.
He was so
So I
mad.
remember, yeah. And so then I was like, man, good game, but this is really sad for me. And he looks at it, he's like, sad for you. We just lost our quarterback that we're gonna get. And he was blowing up. And that was like the first memory I had of him. And so when he came onto your show, I was like, oh, I remember this
Oh,
guy.
that's so funny, dude. And it's funny to look back at that now. And like that's a good thing. I'll have to have a conversation with him about that on a stream sometime here soon. Of like looking back, do you wish that the Rams would have won that game, and then the Jets do get Trevor Lawrence? Because obviously,
Yeah.
when this path doesn't happen, you're not sitting with Aaron Rodgers right now. But Trevor Lawrence has been great. So
Hmm.
like I don't know, man. That's it. I'd be really curious to see which path he would have preferred, having knowing now the path that not getting Trevor Lawrence led to, which is getting Aaron Rodgers. In
Yeah.
fairness, we don't know how that unfolds yet, but
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what he would think about that. Hmm.
I think it would be cool to see too, and you should definitely let me know what he says because
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting because you don't really know how he would do with a different coach to start because
yeah,
I feel like Lawrence's rookie year you could just kind of throw it in the trash because he had Urban Meyer, which
yeah.
was just he didn't even know who Aaron Donald
It's
was,
like
and he
having
didn't
Jared Goff
like
and Jeff Fisher. It doesn't count. Like it's
yeah exactly, and but then like does Robert Saleh still do that like
ooh,
with Trevor Lawrence? Is he still that bad with like I don't know, and so I think it's one of those things where I feel like Lawrence could have been good for longer, but would he have even been good? Would he have been a bust in the Jet situation? Like,
wow.
it's a
We
lot
have
of
to look
stuff
at
we don't know.
like their roster setups and all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
what would have happened to the Jags? Who would they have taken? Would Zach Wilson have
yeah.
gone there? Like
It's so cool to look into those scenarios and stuff. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, this is like what a bunch of Rams fans do, including sometimes myself. I think back to it when they're like, "We drafted Tutu Atwell over Creed Humphrey. What if we did?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, a bunch of teams passed on Aaron Donald, including us, and we still got him." So like, yeah,
my best example is like even we passed on Aaron Donald.
yeah,
You do that redraft, he doesn't even go to number 2. Like we don't even get a shot
No.
if we do a redraft there. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that you can play that what if game in every draft. Always like you can always be like, oh man, this would have been a good pick. But that's like I shared a Cooper Kupp tweet not that long ago, and it was talking about that. I'm pretty sure you replied to it, but it was like, oh, only one of the 5 or 6 wide receivers taken before Cooper Kupp is even still with his original team, and it's like, oh yeah. It's almost as if like it's not a guarantee, and some people
exactly
better and some people are worse. Like it's like bad players can go high and good players can go low. Weird, like it's crazy.
Yeah, what a concept.
And like,
that's
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's definitely not as annoying. Like seeing those types of posts, like everybody passed on Cooper Kupp and he's like this kid. That's not as annoying as seeing like rumors Stafford was going to be traded by the Rams or things like that. Stuff is so annoying.
I'm on
like
a fight right now.
So
dude.
much of that.
It's Joe against.
What do you say?
It's Joe against this bogus media content right now.
Media.
I am fighting, dude. I actually, yeah, exactly. The video of that Browns fan. So I went and commented on that, and then he actually replied to my comment in another video. Like he pulled up my comment on screen and kind of responded.
Oh, really? Is it like the commentary?
It's on the one about Deshaun Watson playing poorly in the cold. And it's the last question. So if you want to go find it, what is his name?
Yeah, okay.
Quincy
Carrier.
Quincy Carrier. Go check it out there. But it's on the video is the one where it's like, is Deshaun Watson bad in the cold weather? Which caught my attention. So I was like, let me check this out. And I liked his stuff. So I was like, I'll give that. So
yeah, he's really good.
And it was like the very end. It like all of a sudden my comment pops up on screen, and I was like, oh, okay. Totally, I don't know. I like had no idea. I wasn't gonna do a follow up and try to like figure out it. It was like he didn't respond to my comment, so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, it was kind of cool. And he had kind of mentioned, he was like, well, it's kind of on. He's like, first of all, that's just what people do. That people want content and views. His comment that I actually really liked was that he said sports media has never been nonprofit. It's for profit. It's like, so people are going to try to find ways to profit. And if that's twisting some stuff, that's twisting some stuff. So before we pop out of here, first of all, can you provide some clarity on what the heck that means? What is he talking about?
What the?
Is there an inside joke that I'm on the outside of?
Yeah,
okay.
It wouldn't even make sense if I tried to explain.
Fair
I
enough.
just
We'll
didn't
just
think he'd
move
comment
on.
it.
We'll just leave it at that. All right. So
yeah.
Well,
I will say, this is not about his comment that he just said, because even if I try to explain it, I've done that before, and everybody just gives me a blank stare. So it's like something you have to be there for. But anyway, I do have to say, for anybody who's in the chat, you guys should definitely check out the Browns fan channel, the Quincy Carrier guy, because hey, get out here, fly! Because I'm not even a Browns fan at all. I think I found his channel a couple years ago when he was it was a video about the Rams somehow, and I was like, this guy's really good, and he's actually like pretty entertaining, and he's very sensible and like realistic about his team. So definitely check him out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really good. The Charles Experience says that I just want to know why we were shopping Stafford. Les Snead was confirmed calling team. That's not confirmed. That's not like. Where did you do that? Les did say that he had gotten calls, but I also want to say, and I don't know where it was, or maybe I'm manufacturing this, but that the answer was no. Like that people were calling, like, "Hey, are you looking to move Stafford?" And they were like, "No." Like,
yeah,
that's to my knowledge, that's exactly what happened. So, and then here again, Pat McAfee is still Lombardi, first or second hand confirmed Rams up.
No, that was his opinion that he thinks.
He said that he was like, no, he's just like, I just think that they would, based on his injury history, the contract that he's under. So yeah, that actually we've discovered, like, we know that is not real. Like the Rams weren't out here like, we got to get rid of Stafford. Like that was not a thing.
Yeah.
It was not a thing of like them shopping. I'm sure phone calls are had a lot. I'm sure a lot of phone calls get made about a lot of different players all the time. And then every once in a while, one of them's like, yo, but Ramsey, all right, we could get these numbers off the book. Kind of like, I'm sure that something happened. So I'm sure there was phone calls made and stuff like that, but
there's a mosquito on me.
nice.
Which I will say though, with that, like him getting confused about that, it's very easy to get confused if you're not really aware of what's going on. And so like, I don't blame him. Yeah, because like the media is feeding it to us like this is what happened, and like I don't know. I feel like that's just where it's going. So I think it's easy to get confused, but you just have to be like aware of how things are worded and kind of like look where the crumb trail, I guess, started.
Yeah. Let's like, all right, we're gonna try to figure this out. We should start a rumor. We're not gonna talk about it here. We'll talk about it on our thread.
Okay.
We should start a rumor about something ridiculous. That like first
How
of all,
will people see it?
is like we just tweet out, dude. Like,
okay,
with
I'm definitely not big enough for that.
The three of us, I think, have enough of a following that all we have to do is push the first domino. We don't have to create the madness. We don't have to, we don't have to create the splash. We just gotta hit that first domino and push that thing down the hill. You know what I mean? It'll start snowballing, I think.
I only have like 40 followers though, because I don't really post that much. I'm just there to like, I'm just there just to mainly follow the Rams and then like comment on things. But we could still try that. I think it'd be interesting, or maybe
try to create a rumor.
But
now I'm saying it here, so like anything I say, no one's gonna believe. Like
that's true. But like, what if we like DM some like Rams fans that have more followings, like not this guy in particular, but if we did like Holden or something like that has like a bigger following, if we DM just saying it was a joke, but I don't know, because like maybe people will be like, well, this guy's not even like serious. I can't trust him anymore.
Exactly. That's true. That's the thing too. Is like I don't want to like ruin credibility. I just want to show people how easy it is to like make something.
That would be cool though.
I
think we should try.
Jersey is real. I don't buy it.
That would probably be something that would be so easy to get a rumor going on is the uniforms, because everybody claims that it's happening next year.
Okay, I've got one already. I'm gonna send it to you now so that Peo sees it too.
Okay.
God, you'll be like, oh yeah, obviously.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send it now. Let's start a rumor. All right.
Still, Concord isn't merely a grape.
Going out there. So I don't know if you'll see that.
Oh,
obvious.
Because it could still be true.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what GP shot.
What?
That's what he was doing. Oh, that's so funny.
With what?
With the black jersey. He said the black jersey is
really that's very
so
smart.
Us here as we're literally talking about making. Oh man,
we're conditioned. Oh no,
that's the most I've ever gotten. That's hilarious to me. All right, man.
Yeah, that's true. But
good.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, it is kind of read how people say things in the comment section.
Yeah, I have. Like, who knows? Like, what if his inflections were like the black jerseys are real? Like, I don't know.
Or the black jerseys.
Yeah, I have no idea what he was trying to say. So, or how he was trying to say.
But wait,
right.
Hold on. Before you go, last time, we should get everybody else in the chat, if anybody has Twitter, to try to join us with saying that they'll be Navy, to see if we could start the wave by having them post it too.
That is literally what I just sent. Is that?
Sorry, I didn't see that. My bad.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought that's why you said it.
Oh no, I'm talking about like if we put it in the real live chat right now. If we got those people on Twitter to join and say that they'll be Navy, maybe that'll get more.
That's the thing, man. And I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I can share my screen or how to. I just don't do it.
Are you on a phone?
No, I'm on my laptop.
You can definitely share a screen. I think it's in stream this to your audience. What?
Let me just try.
It's hard. I'm on the phone obviously right now, so it's harder. But I have screen shared before.
I don't know how to do it.
Let's see. It's definitely gonna be in the bottom third area. Or wait, maybe it won't. I don't know. We need Peo time in here because he shares his stream all the time.
He's like a stream master, though. It's not even fair.
He is.
He's so good at it, man. It's not even cool. Okay, so I'm gonna try to figure it. I'll just find the link here, and I'll share this. So I'm gonna go artwork and logos. Where are we at here? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna share this link in the comments right now. This is not a page that you can get to if you just go to therams.com and start wiggling around on stuff. You have to go to therams.com/media, and most teams have this page. Most of them are just not navigatable through just like going through the homepage. So this here is from the logo and artwork. This is actually a Dropbox link. That's hilarious. Of all the different things. And I will say, in fairness, there is a version here that has black on it, but there is not, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this, I believe it is. Yeah, all the way to the bottom under color standards. If anybody's going to go check this out, there is it says Rams Royal and then Rams Navy just below that. And it is a different color code. This color code is 0C2340. The last Rams Navy was 002244. So it is a different color code, and it is in our official color scheme that the Rams do have a Navy officially. So this rumor does have some kind of basis. And also, we always share them. Like whenever we're seeing like Behind the Grind or something like that, and we see somebody wearing a Navy thing with the new logo on it, it's like, oh, boom, got another one. It's a very cool thing.
That's the thing, though. The thing that has me like on the fence still. Sorry, I keep holding you longer than I say, but you're getting me like hooked back into it.
Yeah.
Well,
did you disappear? No. I don't know if you might be gone, but either way, this Dropbox link that I did share does have.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
Hi. Okay. So it was like early 2020, and I don't remember exactly. It might have been the Draft House, or maybe that was 2021. Either way, I remember seeing a lot of Navy in it, and even like some of the players were wearing it that were walking through the house. And I was like, wait, does this mean we're getting like Navy uniforms or like a Navy jersey? But then,
oh, you cut out again, man. Maybe something's going. Maybe if somebody's trying to call him or something.
And now they're gonna go with something else.
I missed the whole middle part of that.
No. Okay. Basically, essentially what I'm saying is that I did notice like the Navy theme like a year or two ago, and I was like, okay, this could be like what our next uniform is. This like looks like it could be a thing because I see it like in our apparel and all that the players were wearing, but it wasn't really available for us to buy. And then essentially when we had delayed our uniform for a year last year, I was like, wait, does that mean that we're not going to go to it anymore? So that's the one thing where I'm like, I don't know if it adds up because they would delayed it a year, so maybe they were going to go with the Navy.
Did they?
Did they what?
Delay it?
No, not for this year. But last year we were supposed to get it, and they delayed it a year, and they told all of us. Yeah. So then that's where I was like, maybe they aren't doing Navy anymore, but they're going to. So now they have all the leftover apparel, so you're seeing it pop up. I don't know.
No, you're right. That's a good point. But it's a different code entirely, which means we do officially have a navy blue in our color scheme. We're just not using it anywhere outside of random like polos and pullovers and stuff. So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to dig for that video though and show you. I know it was like in the Draft House or something, and I saw like a navy blue vest and I saw like navy blue shorts. I was like, wow, this could be, I don't know. But I still think we should spread that rumor still and see if we can get it.
Unless people
even if we lose credibility.
Somebody's gonna see this and like this is gonna pop up in a tweet. Be like, they're lying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just say it's like an experiment or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this actually kind of defends us because then we could be like, see, our credibility is not ruined. We were joking from the jump. That's gonna work, man.
We were, and we're just doing this just to spread the awareness about how rumors become news now. Apparently, it's not technically bad. It's like 95% good. That's the
Exactly.
way
Yeah,
I see it.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's more than enough. All right, man. I am gonna get out of here. I think that food is like
Okay.
being finished now, maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna
Oh.
do all that stuff. Also have a
All
concert
right.
tomorrow, so I gotta rest up. Disturbed is in town
Oh, all right.
about it.
Nice.
Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin. It's gonna be a great time. But
Good to
other than
be
that,
on.
dude, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, I finally
do we
made it.
find you?
What did you say?
Where do we find you?
Okay, so it's pretty simple. It's just Rams House on YouTube, not Rams House TV, just Rams House on YouTube. Same thing on Twitter. If you guys want to follow with this rumor thing and like really give it support, it's just at Rams House on Twitter. And it might be like Rams House 102. I really couldn't tell you, but mainly where the stuff is at is on YouTube. So
For sure, dude. Thanks for coming to hang out, man.
yeah, appreciate you.
We'll definitely be. You're coming to the Broncos Rams preseason game, right?
I'm trying. It's hard because I'm trying to save for a car still, and so I don't know if I'll have enough to get out there, but I really want to.
All right, man. We'll see how we can make this happen. Because
I hope we can.
you got to go, man.
And Peo's got to go too.
So yeah, it's up the road, dude. Yeah,
All right. Well, you have a good one, man. Thanks for having me on.
dude. Absolutely, anytime, man. You're welcome anytime.
See ya.
Later, man. Oh, I got cut him off there. Oh well. All right, but yep, that is gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this this up here. Hey, thanks for hanging out. This was like I said, this was kind of my vision for how I kind of pictured Ram Showcase Live being, is just having guests. These ones I kind of let hang out. I like it was also in my intention to like do like 5 minutes with people and then kick them off. So that didn't happen. But that's awesome because the people that I've had with me here today, obviously, it's like people that I've known for a long time and people that I absolutely have massive amounts of respect for. So that was an absolute blast. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll definitely be back to it next week. I'm not sure exactly what time. It will be a little earlier. I am going to a concert on Monday as well. So I will bump it just a little bit more, probably closer to the date range that we were used to on those first two. So probably like what was that, 2 o'clock Pacific time, something like that. So other than that,